Guten Morgen, Bitcoin. Heute ist Mittwoch, der 4. Oktober 2017. Ich bin Paloma Carter. Bei mir ist Thomas Hunt. Und das passiert heute in Bitcoin.
The price of Bitcoin was steady, just up about 0.26% in the last 24 hours, with a last of 43.31, a high of 43.31, and a low of 42.49. Our top story, Bitcoin could be heading to $6,000 by year end, but brace for volatility, experts say. We'll see about that. It would be a 40% rally to 6,000 from the current high of 43.33. There's infighting and splitting with a potential 2x fork and a shift of power to Japan, previously in China. However, the record high of 5,013.91 is within sight. Goldman Sachs CEO, no conclusion on Bitcoin yet. Lloyd Blankfein, the CEO of Goldman Sachs, tweeted yesterday, still thinking about Bitcoin. No conclusion, not endorsing / rejecting. Know that folks were also skeptical when paper money displaced gold. Looks like he's thinking about it quite a lot, with the IMF chief coming out warning the financial industry about Bitcoin, and the central banker in Russia also being warning and fearful of Bitcoin. Also, when China banned their ICOs and when they closed their Bitcoin exchanges, the Chinese government also expressed fear that Bitcoin could remove the government's monopoly on the ability to create currency, a very powerful monopoly. BlackRock's Fink says the rise of Bitcoin shows how much money laundering is being done in the world. And this is similar to what Tone always says, that banks and governments see us nothing more than money launderers, and they want to get rid of cash and make everything trackable. However, despite his dislike and criticalness of Bitcoin, he does say he's a big believer in the potential in what cryptocurrencies can do, but you know he probably means blockchain. Blockchain, blockchain, blockchain. SegWit adoption surpasses 7%. Bitcoin is scaling at a rapid rate. They said it couldn't happen, but it seems like it's happening. Everyone's starting to turn on segregated witness and use a SegWit wallet, and the fees are down, up to 35%. There's no need for Bcash with their 2x blocks. There's no need for a 2x hard fork. We are scaling with SegWit. The Lightning Network is coming in soon, and it's all working fine, just like they said it would. This whole thing, some kind of strange mistake. But we're also, for a check on the current markets, we're joined by Tone Vase. How's it going, Tone?
Hey guys, still here in Prague. Was walking around yesterday. It was really cool. I stopped by Parallel Police office, had to do a quick interview there, and then I was coming home. I decided to just walk home, and look what I ran into. It was a couple of blocks away from the office, and it's set up. It's a new one for the conference. It was like really cool. Imagine like walking down the street, there's like nobody around, and you run into one of these giant murals. That was really, really cool. I mean, when people start getting here, we should go back over there and take some pictures. For those of you that are curious where it is, it's there's the office right here, and this thing is right by the water, and then you can like walk along the water, which was really, really cool. And then somebody actually added it to somewhere here. So somebody added it to Google Maps once it comes out, like as a picture inside Google Maps. So that was cool. All right. Anyway, let's move on with the markets. Let's take a look at the current mempool, and it's not bad. It's over 1 megabyte, so that means there's transactions waiting, and there is some kind of a fee market, which is good. Your average transaction is 53 satoshis per byte, which is very reasonable. And this is how I like to see my mempool. So it's looking very good. Speaking of mining, not too many blocks over 1 megabyte, but again, the mempool hasn't been full. so we don't really need it. I haven't kept track of how many SegWit transactions are inside each block. You still get these empty blocks, buy and pool, and slush pool. That one is a little peculiar. I've never seen slush pool pull off one of these. I wonder if the mempool was totally empty at the time, because that's where I'm mining with slush pool. They've been fairly good. Looks like Bitcoin Cash is once again, or Bcash, oh my God, I can't believe I called it by the wrong name. Looks like Bcash is once again more profitable to mine. And I mean, some miners will go there, but it hasn't messed with Bitcoin difficulty too much. Let's take a look at how many blocks have been mined since my last login. Keep an eye on the upper right-hand corner, and things will flash. Are they going to flash? Guess not. Usually do. Let me refresh. So there's no inflation going on the Bcash side, which is interesting. And they're mining blocks fairly quickly again. They're starting to insta-mine. 8 minutes, 7 minutes, 7 minutes. So in the last 12 minutes, they've mined 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 blocks in the last 12 minutes. So they're mining at like a block every 1.15 minutes. I mean, this is just like insane. Though this page doesn't seem to be updating for some reason, because then their inflation rate seems like it will be way higher again, and they're once again insta-mining. They're gonna cut their Bitcoin in half. The reward halving is coming to them like a year earlier at this rate. On my website, there is a Learn Trading section if you're planning to attend any of my seminars. Make sure you spend as much time on this as you can. Spend a lot of time filling that out. It's an educational section. All right, let's talk about the price. Weekly chart, nothing's going to change this entire week unless we start to crash, but it's still totally neutral. And this is what I call a price flip. And then next week, the moment we trade higher than the current week, this becomes a buy on the weekly chart. And the last time this was a buy on the weekly chart, the price was 28.25. So it went from 28.25 all the way to 5,000. So if the weekly chart signals me a buying opportunity, I'm gonna be ultra bullish. Here's the daily chart. Now the daily chart is the one I've been focusing on, mostly because of my time indicators were telling me that yesterday was gonna be a take your profit day. So here's a 9, and I drew these arrows a week ago, and I was a little bit off on how high we would go, but if you zoom in, I did not adjust these arrows. They were drawn live in real time. I pretty much got the bottom right and on the day. Like I had my bottom at 41.70 and the bottom was 42.10. So that seems pretty good. I thought we'd top out a little bit earlier. So this 9 is telling me we have a 1 to 4 day pullback. It looks like it started on the 9. And let's see what happens. I think the bottom should probably be in. This 4,100 to 4,200 is very good support. You can see the 50-day moving average. You can see the prior top, and you can see a Fibonacci line. So 3 levels of support. And I think these supports should hold. So now I am looking for higher prices. And hopefully we'll go to new highs. Once we go to new highs here, and in a way I'm hoping it's towards the end of the week than the beginning of the week. Once we go to new highs, this becomes another pretty good buying opportunity. Let me see what that other yellow line is. Oh yeah, so this is the yellow line I was supposed to delete. I remember I drew it on one of the videos and I said this was not strong resistance. I'm actually deleting that line, so I don't want it to interfere with me. The moment we break above the high, and that high came on a beautiful doji. I mean, textbook doji. It was on a number 8. No wonder number 9 pulled back. So your 1 to 4 day pullback started on the 9, not after the 9. And I think it's over. And I think we go higher from here hopefully all the way to 6,000-7,000. My target is 6,000 later this month and going into next month. So let's see if we can do it. The 4-hour chart isn't telling us much. We had this 9 telling us to look out for a 1 to 4 day pullback and then higher. That's exactly what happened. Ever since then, we're being choppy. If you're only trading one of these indicators, it did tell you to potentially go short, which would have been a little disastrous, but a short-term loss. This is where the short would have been, right here below this line, and you would have taken your loss, put a yellow line. If you did that short based on this particular indicator, right here is where you would have had to cut your losses. No big deal, but you should never short. That would be dumb, especially on a short, especially on like something like this, when the daily, though the daily did tell you to look out, just a 4-hour didn't align with it. But now, according to the 4-hour, this indicator told you to be a bull once again right here. So the 4-hour one is now bullish. The daily is still on a 1 to 4 day pullback, but we'll see if we can get back up to 4,400 today. Then I'll be very bullish across all those time frames. And the hourly is kind of useless, not doing anything. Now, B-Trash is interesting because it's about to reach another 9, and every time it hit a 9, it had a little bit of a bounce, the next day. And if it does reach a 9 tomorrow, it may have a little bit of a bounce, maybe back to 0.1, and then it's going to be all she wrote. So let's see what happens tomorrow. And that's about it. I mean, the Prague event starts in a couple of days. I have my seminar tonight. I think there's still 2 seats open because people keep coming in and out. So if you are in Prague and you're interested in a 3-hour seminar for 0.1, email me at tone@protonmail.ch. Otherwise, I'll see you, Thomas, here tomorrow for the conference. And after that, it's off to LA, where me and Jimmy Song are speakers. We're both teaching our respected seminars, I believe. Mine is right here. It now has a venue, and I don't know what the max capacity is, but it doesn't really say, but a bunch of people are signing up. And after that, my events are all the way out in October and November. So I'll talk more about those later on. Back to you, Thomas.
The max capacity is 21 million. But yeah, I just want to.
Speaking of SegWit, just wait till I get home and I convert my hundreds of millions of dollars worth of Bitcoin to SegWit addresses. It'll go to 10% quick.
Very good. And just like to thank everybody for watching. Ask you to give us a thumbs up and a share. That helps more people find the show. If it's your first time here, subscribe down below. We got more artwork today from Paloma. Oops, I'll try to move the chair, but it's stuck. There we go. You can see the whole thing. Very cool. And I've had a great time in Berlin, but like Tone said, I'm taking off tomorrow. Ryan Taylor, the famous live streamer, and I are going to take the train together to Prague, and then I'll be in Prague for the Prague conference. And then I don't know what I'm going to do. But like Tone said, he's going back to LA and all that. And I think that's about it for the show. Had a good time at the Unification Festival yesterday. Things aren't so patriotic in Germany, so I didn't buy a flag and wave it because no one else was. But everybody was happy, and we were listening to cover bands, and they were playing ABBA. It was a very European scene. They had a carnival and such. So if you want to donate, you can go ahead and scan that QR code on your screen. Maybe send us like 10 or 20 bucks. Help out with the Europe trip. And we'll be back. And there was another episode of Jimmy Songs Off Chain last night. You can check that out here on the World Crypto Network. And we'll be back tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.